Clarion Energy News Studio at Windaba. Joining me is Ben, and we are going to be talking about the wind energy sector. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, it's all nice to be here.
So Ben, you were on the keynote address here at Windaba. What was your main message and what was the key takeaway for you?
Yeah, I think the key takeaway is that the wind energy sector is a big, grown-up industry, and we need to, really show how we can contribute to economies, national economies, and the role that we can play. So it's not really a matter, and this came across, I think, quite clearly from the remarks made by the Minister. It's not really a matter of us just asking for some more megawatts or asking for money. It's a matter of how can we contribute to really accelerate the energy transition, which needs to happen really quite urgently. And I think for us, I mean, we are now an industry that's more competitive in most places around the world than any other competing energy source. So it's not that we're asking for subsidy or for government money. What we want to do is bring investment, and we want to help transform economies. It said that the energy transition, globally is gathering pace, and you could really see that from the events in New York and other places around the world with the global climate strike. And we have a real duty now to get this sorted out and to accelerate things. I mean, we've got 10 years now to get this right as a planet and as a species. So I think it's very, very important that we work together with authorities and stakeholders to see how can we speed things up.
In the Southern African region, what do you think are the particular challenges that we are grappling with in terms of the wind energy sector taking off?
I think the situation has turned around completely in 10 years, because when I first started in the industry, it was seemingly a kind of lack of investment or a lack of finance. I mean, now it's actually the other way around. I mean, there's lots of money and institutional money looking to get into renewables, and there's the energy transition means that big financial funds and pension funds and people like that are looking to put their money into renewables and get out of fossil fuels. And paradoxically now we don't have enough projects and enough happening on the ground to invest that money into. So I think the question again is, how do we get things done and how do we speed things up? And that's actually the case in South Africa, where there's been a bit of a slowdown in the last few years when we should be accelerating, and it's also the case in sub-Saharan Africa, where there's been some great projects and some kind of really notable landmark projects like Lake Turkana in Kenya. There's a large project in Senegal which has just been built. There's a few kind of big landmark projects, but on the whole it's actually been way too slow. So we're trying to address how can we help solve that situation on the basis of how do we make it easier to execute, how can we help governments to be ready and understanding and be able to implement frameworks for renewable energy. So that's what setting this new association is around with some of our key partners and allies. And we really hope to bring a kind of coalition of the willing, of people who can say, look, we want to come and invest, we want to build, we want to create new skills, we have the money and the expertise, and we want to work with you for creating the right frameworks to be able to do that.
Thank you so much for sharing. For more industry-related content, follow the on-screen address now, and thank you for watching.